All right, so we're seeing it everywhere in the news. Currently, we're in one of the worst inflationary cycles in over 40 years. We're headed into a recession like a freight train. And this is all part of a natural economic cycle, but it's just not something that we've seen in a really long time. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 things that you can do to help prepare yourself for whatever the economy throws at you, whether it's inflation, recession, depression, deflation, or any other cycle that happens in the macroeconomic world. My name is Paris Clough, and this is Financial Self-Reliance. I absolutely love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money. And I hope to help you do just that by helping you increase your financial literacy and your financial education. So let's take a look at what's happening right now in the economy. Right now, we're seeing inflation, recession concerns weigh on the S&P 500, the Dow, the NASDAQ. We're seeing all the major markets that are down right now. Right now, according to Yahoo Finance, inflation surges 9.1% in June, the most since November of 1981. That is over 40 years that we've not seen this kind of inflation. That's almost my whole lifetime. And for many of you watching, that is beyond your lifetime. And so this is a pretty significant thing. We've not seen an inflation or a potential recession like we're seeing right now. So some of you are scared and nervous about what's going to happen and what's happening. So let's take a look and let's define what inflation is. Inflation is the decline of purchasing power of a given currency over time. Well, what does that mean? That means that if I have a $20 bill and I go into the grocery store today, I can buy less things than I could buy last month. And next month, when I go to the grocery store with the same $20, I'll be buying fewer things than I bought this month. So every month, month after month, every time I take my $20 into the store, if we're in inflation and it's increasing, I'm going to buy less and less things with the same $20. I might get to the point where I'm buying a stick of gum for $20 if this continues the way it is. So what can we do to continue to prepare ourselves and be ready for a recession or inflation or anything else the economy can throw at us? The first thing that I highly recommend is you continue to increase your financial literacy. Your mindset changes everything. You've got to learn about what's happening in the marketplace, what's potential to happen in the marketplace, and the more you know, the less that you'll be afraid or the less that you'll fear what's happening, because you'll know that it's a normal cycle, it's a normal thing. This is supposed to happen. It may or may not be supposed to happen this bad or whatnot, but the point is that these are natural cycles in any economy. The second thing that I highly recommend that you do is get a hold of your cash flow. Figure out your income. Make sure that you're making good money. Make sure that your expenses are under control and they're disciplined. You don't want to be spending a lot of money right now, or you want to make sure that you're spending your money wisely on the things that you absolutely need. Some of those extras, some of those luxuries that we used to be able to have, you may not be able to afford right now, or you should probably take a look at whether or not you could afford them or should afford them, because right now, as prices continue to rise, you need to be conscientious and aware of where your money's going. If you need to make more money, just pick up a side hustle. Do some things to make more money. Get an increase, get a raise at your job. Do something to make more money. So the third thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is you have a strong savings account. Make sure your emergency fund is full. Make sure you at least have a month or 2 or 3 of those fixed expenses. As things start to increase in price, if you're not having the income that you need, your expenses are growing more and faster than your income is, you may have to draw from savings in order to pay for some of those everyday things that you used to be able to pay for with your normal income. The fourth thing that I highly recommend that you do is take a look at your debt. Look at your secured debt versus your unsecured debt. Unsecured debt is debt that's not backed up by anything. So if you have a credit card, consumer debts, anything like that is all that unsecured debt. You want to reduce and eliminate that as soon as possible and as quickly as possible. Secured debts like car loans and home loans, just keep those on maintenance mode for now, because as you'll see, as you go through this inflationary cycle, that's probably going to be some of your safest debt that you're going to ever have. The fifth thing that I highly recommend that you do is take a review of all the insurance that you have right now. Do you have life insurance? Do you have health insurance? Do you have car insurance? Do you have homeowners insurance? Do you have renters insurance? Make sure that you're properly insured. If anything was to happen to you right now or your family, you would not want to have that income that you bring in be gone, and now your family has to suffer in an inflation on top of losing the loved one or losing somebody that they love. So health insurance, life insurance, all the different types of insurance, make sure you're properly insured. The sixth thing I highly recommend that you do is take a look at your investments. You might be invested in a 401k. You might be freaking out because your investment that was once a 401k is now a 201k, or you're feeling like all of your portfolios are down and they're losing 20, 30, 40%. That's okay if you're young. If you're young in your 20s or 30s, or even if you're in your 40s or early 50s, that might still be okay, because most recessionary cycles don't last longer than you're going to need to be able to use that money before you retire. So if you're in your 60s, then you're probably going to have to really move that money into a more safe place. Maybe move it into conservative or really preservative funds at work. Make sure that you go to the HR and you look at the 401k options that you have for investments, and make sure that you're moving your money into really conservative locations. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s, I would say keep your money in the market, because you're going to be taking advantage of what's called dollar cost averaging. Every dollar that goes in there, every contribution that you make is going to continue to buy shares of whatever you're invested in. And those shares that are on discount right now, you'll be able to buy more and more and more, so that when the economy comes back, you'll be able to protect yourself and keep yourself in a position where your portfolio will benefit greatly from doing that. Most people want to get out when they see these lows happening. They want to sell everything and get out. That's the worst time, because we don't know when to get back in. The important thing to do is stay in, but just continue to contribute on a regular basis, especially if you're in those 20, 30, 40 age group. That's most of the people listening to this, by the way. You're going to be just fine as you go through this recession. The other thing that a lot of people don't know about is that gold and silver, or precious metals, are a great inflationary hedge. They will help you against inflation, protect your overall portfolio. I highly recommend that you keep about 20% of your portfolio in gold and silver and precious metals. And I don't necessarily think that you should be buying ETFs. What I mean by gold and silver is like physical gold and silver. Owning physical gold and silver is one of the best ways to hedge against inflation and keep yourself safe in economies like this. What I want you to come away with the most, though, is that this is a natural economic cycle, and if you just continue to do the things that you're supposed to do with your money, the sound financial principles, those sound money management processes and principles, you're going to be okay. No matter what comes, no matter what happens, if you consistently remember to stay educated, increase your financial literacy, earn a good income, and if you're not earning enough money, go out and find ways to make more money and keep your spending under control. And then make sure that you're saving and you're putting money aside for the future. Get some things like food storage. I did a video not too long ago about making sure that part of your emergency fund can be food storage, and other types of things like that you can have supplies on hand in case you need them. Making sure that you stay out of debt, and especially consumer debt. Making sure that you're properly insured in every way that you can, and make sure that you're wise about your investments, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in real estate, or whether you're building a business. The most important thing is that you continue to follow the sound money management principles and sound financial literacy principles, and becoming self-reliant so that you don't have to rely on others for your information or your economic gain. Making sure that you know that you have the capacity, you have the ability, you have the wherewithal to do what's necessary to keep yourself safe and to keep your financial plans on track towards your financial goals. I hope you've got a lot out of this video, and I hope it has helped you learn what you can do to stay safe during these tough economic times. If you missed the last video I produced, you can find it here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel up here. And if you want to watch a video that YouTube thinks you might like, go ahead and check it out up here. Have a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.